So Michael T. Flynn's son, Michael G. Flynn, just got booted from Trump's transition team for promoting a fake news story that led to a wannabe hero firing a shot at an establishment called Comet Ping Pong, which is a pizza restaurant that conspiracy theorists have said is a base of operations for a child sex trafficking ring linked to, you guess it, Hillary Clinton. The same woman that Lena Dunham said may be light itself. I'm pretty sure the truth is somewhere in the middle here. Michael Flynn the Elder, who is Trump's choice for national security advisor, is also into sharing fake news, and he's known for little quirks like chanting "lock her up" at the RNC and tweeting that the fear of Muslims is rational. So I don't know, with a man like that in Trump's ear, I think we can expect to see more wanna-do-gooders trying to save children in pizzerias all over the country. So as some of you may have heard, unless I'm your only source of news, which is fine, it's totally cool, Trump picked Scott Pruitt, who's involved in a lawsuit against the Environmental Protection Agency, to head the Environmental Protection Agency. For anyone who's confused about what corporatocracy looks like, you can just look at a photo of Scott. I mean, if you can't see the special interests behind the man's eyes, then you're blind. As Attorney General of Oklahoma, he had corporate pawns ghostwrite letters for him that he sent out on his stationery. In short, Mr. Pruitt is a climate change denier who is big on fossil fuels and states' rights, which, I don't know, I get that federal overreach is this whole thing, but as far as saving the planet goes, I don't know, I can't bring myself to believe that Oklahoma is gonna do it. So I could be reading Sean Hannity wrong, but it seems like he's not just disappointed that Trump is mingling with Washington swamp rats, but that he's also a little jealous.
They're not President-elect Donald Trump's friends, and they never will be.
I don't know, I'm detecting some jealousy there.
These newfound friends, the political class, they will turn on him on a dime. So if the president-elect, if he wants any real friends in Washington, I heard he just got a dog called Patton. If he wants 2 friends, get 2 dogs.
Okay, so dogs are fair game. He's not threatened by dogs. I don't know, of all the people who could be giving our president-elect friend advice, Sean Hannity's gonna do it, really? I mean, does Sean Hannity have any friends? Coworkers don't count. I see him more as the guy who holds 2 footballs without a receiver in sight, or the guy who grills out by himself, or the guy who looks a little too eager to impress the Duck Dynasty guy. Also, I think I've seen him hold his own hand. Sad. For this installment, I was going to talk about Russia making its vote count, or I was going to talk about Trump staying on his EP of Celebrity Apprentice, which I cannot promise that I'll be boycotting. I'll probably tune in because Arnold, and I don't know if they ever asked me to be an apprentice on there, I wouldn't be able to say no. I don't expect to be a celebrity anytime soon. If these videos are any indicator, the likes just aren't there, but a lot can happen in a year. Okay, so where was I at? The big story for me today had nothing to do with American politics. It had to do with Bob Dylan. Who actually, I don't know, his music is kind of like American politics in that it gives me a headache. I mean, let's be frank, the man did not deserve the Nobel Prize in Literature. And maybe he knows that, maybe that's why he's not showing up to accept the medal. All that is noble. Sue me. As I said in an October 13th Facebook post, which only received 1 like, mind you, if the prize had to go to an American who sampled other people's work, it should have at least gone to Shia LaBeouf or Girl Talk. I don't understand these people who are actually worried about being desensitized by the news. Imagine having to actually feel all the headlines that you read from day to day. You wouldn't be able to function. I consider myself a pretty desensitized person, but I've always been pretty good about getting my Christmas spirit up. This year is a little bit more challenging, but I don't know, there are ways. So Trump is considering Rex Tillerman, CEO of ExxonMobil, for Secretary of State, which doesn't really surprise me because Trump is Reagan retro, and Reagan had a big businessman for his top diplomat. It's also not surprising since Rex represents Exxon's interests in Russia and has hung out with Trump's man crush Putin more than any other American aside from Henry Kissinger. As you've probably heard, Russian hackers disseminated information that influenced the election in Trump's favor, and Trump tends to make nice with people, places, and things that prop him up. So it follows that Russia might be scoring some pretty juicy puppets in the new administration if those appointees are approved. If you're feeling hot and bothered by all of this, try reading more of the news. It'll numb you. Whether you think the Electoral College is genius, as Trump called it about a month ago, or a disaster, as Trump called it back in 2012, I think we can all agree that the Electoral College is a lot less fun than it sounds. There are parties involved, but they're not the kind that Asher Roth would want to tape. These parties are more like churches that assign their members ecclesiastical laws to uphold. I'm guessing that most of the 538 electors are like loyal churchgoers and that they're not really the type to go faithless just because a private part is grabbed or a dirty profit is reaped.
Warm your heart, but they'll encourage you to make your own Christmas memories.
The Christmas Spirit by Joel Osteen. Available now at Joel.
Also, it should be noted that not everybody can afford to be an individual. The electoral votes are on record, and some of these civilian militiamen had that look, the I'll patriotically murder your family look.
I'm in the Secret Service.